Hi, this is the eCraft electronic cutting machine. The idea behind the eCraft is no restriction. Craftwell strives to launch a next-generation cutting machine, making us completely different from any other cutting system. Our goal was to provide the ability to use a broader variety of materials and eliminate obstacles such as traditional cutting mats. So when you use your eCraft, you need to prepare yourself for an entirely new experience. Now that you have set up your eCraft, we're going to show you how easy it is to use. If you haven't set up your cutter, watch the basic setup video first. Now we are ready to turn on the machine. The LCD screen angles for your convenience. The eCraft may look high-tech, but it's actually very easy to use. The buttons around the Enter button control what's on your LCD screen, and the buttons around the Cut button position the trolley for image placement and control feeding the paper in and out. There are many SD image cards available. Each card is divided into categories. This one has 9 categories, each represented by an image. Each category contains many designs, all of which you can reference in the brochure. There are 3 ways to feed the paper into the machine. The first is manually, the second is automatically from the tray, and the third is from a roll. I will first show you how to load the paper manually. This paper is from K & Company, which makes a very thick decorative paper. The eCraft needs a 1/2 inch at the top of the paper for support. There are very strong rollers that hold the paper in place while cutting. Those rollers plus tabs, which we will talk about later, are why the eCraft doesn't require a cutting mat. To load, line up the edge of the paper with the 0 at the bottom left of the machine. Make sure your edge of the paper is against the roller so it will feed in straight. Then you're going to press the arrow up button to feed the paper into the eCraft. Now that we know what type of paper we are using, we need to choose our settings. There are 2 types of settings to think about. The first is the blade, or pressure setting, on the trolley. Thicker paper and materials will need settings 7 to 8, medium body paper will need 4 to 6, and thinner paper will need 1 to 3. K & Company paper generally uses a level 7. If you're experiencing tearing and ripping, it may be because your pressure setting is too high. It's always good to start at a level 4 and test your material by cutting a circle. The second setting you may want to adjust is the tabs, which are generally needed for more complicated images and banners. I would go back to check them by pressing the Mode Back button until I get to my tab settings. Density is the amount of tabs, and width is the thickness of the tab. In this case, I'm doing a smaller image, so I will not need tab settings. I arrow left until I see density 0 and eliminating width. Press Enter to go back to the category screen. Here I'm going to select an image. Currently my cursor is over the heart, which is the first category, and it is flashing. This is the eCraft's way of asking you if you would like to enter into that category. By using the arrows, I highlight the nature category. To select the category, I press Enter. Now we see the first image of the category, our tree. This tree is flashing as if to ask if we would like to select this image. You can scroll through your images by using your up or down arrows. I'm going to go back to my tree because it's a complicated image. I press Enter to select, and now I'm going to arrow left or right to change my size. I'm going to choose size 4 and keep it at multi 1 because I'm going to use paper, so it only needs 1 pass of the image to cut. I'm going to press Enter to select. I will use the left and right arrows to position the trolley. I'm going to move it to the left. The eCraft cuts each image from the bottom left, so if I'm going to do a 4-inch image, I need at least 4 inches over to the right and 4 inches in the back. Now all I have to do is press Cut. You'll see the blue Clear Cut indicator, telling us that we've clearly cut all the way through our paper. You press the down arrow to feed our paper out, and here you go, a very complicated tree. Your selection stays on the LCD screen after you've pressed Cut. This gives you an option to do what's called a shadow. A shadow is basically a frame for your image. We'll feed another piece of paper in, position the trolley, hold down the cut button for 3 seconds until I see the SHD in the bottom right-hand corner. To clear the selection after a cut, simply scroll up and down in the category to choose another image. The eCraft is a closed system. You're able to cut with the top down. Remember, when cutting in tray mode, you'll need to press the mode back button to select the tray mode. The paper will automatically load, so there is no positioning needed. If you've filled the paper, the eCraft will automatically take another page. You will notice that your selections do not always go in the order you have selected. This is because the machine reorganizes the images in order to maximize the space on the page. The eCraft draws first and then cuts. Now we're going to set up our roller accessory. First, we take our roller end caps, place them on either side of the roll. You place the roller stands in the holes provided, making sure this ridge goes in towards the machine. Place our roll into our roll and set it on the tray. Now we're ready to feed our paper in. In order to feed, make sure you're in the category screen and hold down the cut button for 3 seconds. If your paper is not feeding properly, it's probably because the edge of your paper is not straight. Try cutting a shallow V. It will feed in much easier. You can cut a project off of a roll with a clean edge by making sure you're in the category screen and pressing cut. I'm now going to show you how to delete one of many selections. I arrow over to the selection, I press enter into that image, I put the quantity or the multi down to 0, and I press enter. Your image will have been deleted from the queue. The quickest way to clear all your selections is pressing the reset button. It keeps the last mode and tab settings you used and brings you back to the category screen. This concludes our basic operations video. Please review our basic maintenance video as well as other videos demonstrating how to cut materials. Using an electronic cutting system has never been so easy and economical before.